talk about using paper in a different way for your scrapbook pages. I happen to be a fabricaholic, and I'll admit that now just real quick, but let's talk about patchwork paper. Patchwork paper is not using fabric, although you could. What we're going to do today is we're going to use paper, cut into squares, and then put back together again, and it's a lot easier than it sounds. What you're going to do is you're going to take your 12 by 12 paper and your paper trimmer. You're going to start with 2-inch strips. So you cut all your 2-inch strips. Then you're going to take those strips and you're going to cut 2-inch squares. All right? And through the magic of television, we have a whole bunch of 2-inch squares here. Now, you probably want to keep your palette colors similar. They do not have to match. And you probably want to vary your pattern so that you have some that are bigger and some that are smaller and some that are less patterny. And that, what I mean by that is stripes are not quite as patterned as, say, a paisley. And a monochromatic pattern is less busy than a paisley. But when you mix them together, they work great. So what you need are some squares, and you need a base paper, because otherwise these little squares are floating into nowhere. So the base paper does not need to match the squares because you're going to cover the base paper. And what you're going to do is you're going to lay it down and adhere it. And it's as easy as, well, a lot easier than doing quilting, I'll tell you that. And you're just going to put them down in a pleasing pattern that you happen to like. And when we're done, we will end up with a page that looks, before I put the photos on, it looks like this. And it's really pretty by itself. I do like it just like this. I might use this for cards even. And then what you can do is you can go ahead and cut photos that are just a little bit smaller than your squares and use those squares to act as frames or mats for your photos. And they make a great background for small little sticker icons, and it just makes for a really pretty, attractive page. Now let me show you one other page that we did. Very similar to this, it still uses 2 by 2 squares, but what we did is instead of using several smaller photos, what we did was we used a larger photo and we matted it and we put it at a slight tilt. And it just makes for a nice background. Now if you look even closer, and I'm not sure if we can get it, we actually did some stitching on the sewing machine just to add a little bit more texture. And then we added our stickers and we were done with our page. Now, a little bit different, but along the same line as this type of patchwork, we did one more page. Now this is a patchwork in the center, and then we have taken that and put that on a 12 by 12 background. So we end up with the 12 by 12 creates a border to our patchwork paper, and then we've added photos that are on the squares. Again, they are framed by the square that's behind them, and we've added stickers, and we were done with that one. Paper patchwork is really, really lots of fun, and it's a great way to use up your scraps. So have fun with it and enjoy.